Dan B. In the Sea Org, is there any privacy in the bunk bed filled rooms? If there's no privacy in those crammed rooms and nobody is allowed to masturbate, what is everybody doing in the shower? I'm very frustrated that ex-Scientologists rarely complain about privacy and having 50 people share one toilet. Okay, well, I've never particularly made loud noises about this, but no one in the Sea Organization is happy about the crammed quarters and the lack of privacy, and it is an issue because there's never enough berthing space. That's what we called it. We didn't call them our rooms. It's our berthing, right? And of course, if you're married in the Sea Organization, you get a room. You don't get an apartment or something like that. You get a room, and that's your bedroom, and that's where you sleep and do your marital activities. And if you're not married, you live in dorms, and those dorms can get pretty crowded. I saw rooms with upwards of 50 people, depending on the size of the room and the arrangement of the bunk beds. The bunks would usually go 2, 3, and I had even seen 4 high. And when I was on the Rehabilitation Project Force, the RPF, of course, they went 4 high. We were really crammed in like sardines in our rooms. And of course, when you're on the RPF, there is no marriage space. You're all in dorms, right? It's the women and it's the men. But as far as regular Sea Org life goes, yeah, there's very, very little privacy. Bathrooms are used to hide out, take naps. And yeah, yes, people did go and get caught in the bathrooms masturbating. That did occur, and so or in the showers, guys would go in the shower in the morning, and there's some guy, and that shower is just going, and you're like, what the hell is that guy doing in there, Yeah, so there was that. And it's not like anybody ever went back and threw the curtain back or something. But it was a really sucky existence. I mean, sometimes there weren't even shower curtains, though. And of course, then you'd have to take a shower, and it's like right in front of God and everybody, right? It was, and you'd get up in the morning, and if you didn't get in early or later than everybody else, then you couldn't be up standing in line waiting to get in the shower. And and all the little pet peeves and everything. Guys walking down the hall brushing their teeth. That just grossed me out. I just ugh. Sometimes there was one floor on the 3rd floor. They had a 2nd or 3rd floor of the main building, that big blue building that has Scientology on it. That's the berthing building in Los Angeles that I lived in. There were some other places people could live too, but that's where I was. And on the 2nd floor of that building, there were some individual showers. There was a hallway that had 2 individual showers, and couples would go in there sometimes. That was kind of funny. Shower in the morning together sort of thing, right? Anyway, so no, not a lot of privacy, right? Really not. And even, even Sunday mornings were the time where it was called CSP time, or Clean Ship Program. And this is basically where you're supposed to clean the ship. You're supposed to clean your quarters where you live. And so Sunday mornings, we'd all go down and muster up. The whole base would muster up at like 9 a.m. and everybody would be accounted for. And then you'd have to go back to your floor where you live, and all the floors would muster up. And then they'd go and do the common areas first, the hallways and the bathrooms. And then you'd go clean your individual room, and security guards would come around, and you couldn't leave and go to the store and buy whatever you needed to buy, like soap or, socks or whatever you needed to get for the week, until a security guard had come and given you a signed slip that he had checked your room out, right? It was this draconian. This is life in the Sea Org, right? And it's really sucky. There's just really no life in Sea Org life. You're just a machine. You're a cog in a wheel of monotony, and that's kind of your existence. And the days off come few and far between, for most Sea Org members. It's at best you can get a day off once every 2 weeks, at best case scenario. So every other Sunday would be your liberties. That's what they call it. They don't call it a day off. They call it liberties or libs. And it was so painful to get days off that most of the time I didn't even bother trying. So that's kind of that existence, and of course, when you got your days off, you could spend it in your room, listen to music or whatever, but you could expect to be hassled by security guards who also roam around in the birthing spaces during the day to make sure no one is going to their rooms during the day when they're supposed to be on their post working, right? And this was just a routine thing. When I was leaving the Sea Org, I was kind of, in my quarters a lot during the day, or I'd be out cleaning the bathrooms or doing whatever I was doing. But a lot of time was spent in the room that I was in, and the security guys were coming around every day, and what are you doing in here? What's going on? What's happening? Sort of thing. Why are you in here? And it just gets tiring after a while. So you just don't even want to be, in your room at all when that kind of thing is going on. And that's the whole point of that, is they're trying to catch you out, trying to find people who are slacking off. This whole Sea Org life is all about not slacking. So you get very creative on places to be and things to do so that you can get little moments of time to yourself. And unfortunately, most of those places where you can hide out are restrooms, because nobody's going to hassle you in the restroom. They'll knock on the door, but they won't open the door on you when you're in there. So that was about the only privacy that you could be guaranteed of getting. So yeah, it was that bad. It does suck that hard, and they put up with it because they think they're so mistaken. But they really think that they put up with that lack of freedom because they're doing something to change the world. And it's so pathetic. Looking back on it now, it's sad. So